Alan Roberts, Every Damn Day Fitness. This is not one of my normal videos. This video is being published just because apparently somebody spoke my name again and they don't seem to understand. They don't learn their lesson, you see. Here's the thing. You don't get a seat at the adult fitness table. You don't get a seat talking about critiquing other people. You don't get a seat actually being taken seriously in fitness if you should be sitting at the children's table that talks about fantasy all the time. You don't actually get a seat at the adult table when adult folk talk about like real things, when you live in a fantasy world, create your own past and all like that. So with the use of fair use videos in this person's own words, videos released by this person themselves, I just want to remind everybody that sometimes you need to check the mental status of the person giving information and their opinions. Here we go.
Okay, let me make this clear. I am very, very quiet about my background. I don't discuss my background, my full history. Most of you are not going to be able to find my background. There are people in this industry who have dug it up. It's not a pride thing. It just is what it is. You know, a lot of you guys know, because people have pulled my background, that I have a bit of a clandestine background. Some of that did come out when Lane and other people sued me, that yes, I have worked as a mercenary in the past abroad. I actually know something about advanced interrogation techniques. I used to do snatch and grabs and interrogate people out in the field as a contractor years ago. And I'm not going to go into the details, but yes, I have killed armed men in my life. That's nobody's business. That's my own background. And it's not something I want to brag about or talk about. It's not an internet hard-ass thing. And in my experience, Hajis can't even fight anyways. You guys suck at combat. If anyone comes up and makes a physical assault at me, then I will kill them dead at their expo. Non-negotiable. I've briefly mentioned before that I am retired. However, the nature of my retirement is a private, legal matter between myself and the United States government. It's actually a sealed court document. It isn't public knowledge. It isn't publicly available records. It is something I had to reveal to the British courts here over the lawsuit stuff, but because of the nature of it, the U.S. Embassy told me that if the individual who does have a YouTube channel, who pressed charges in court against me, reveals any of the small amount of information I release, they will probably prosecute him for criminal charges inside the United States, because the little bit of details that I revealed is not supposed to be public knowledge. So he would actually be breaking the law if he even published any of it. Yes, I have a classified background. Yes, I have non-disclosure agreements. So technically anything that anyone finds about me, if they get a hold of it, it's illegal for them to have it. If they spread it around, they're guilty of espionage. So, Simon, if someone sent you any rumors of what the fuck I used to do, and you spread it around, you will go to prison for the rest of your fucking life. And so will the people who gave you the information, who got a hold of shit they're not supposed to get a hold of. No, I don't talk about my past because I used to work in intelligence. I worked in intelligence until I cracked under the stress from the PTSD, and then they terminated me and told me that if I ever talked about specifically what I did, that I would spend the rest of my life in prison. So yeah, I'm a little bit fucked up. I'm a little bit crazy. And no, I was never in the military, but that doesn't mean that I didn't serve my country. That doesn't mean that I never risked my life for my country. It doesn't mean I never killed for my country. You think killing people's fucking funny? Well, I can tell you that everyone I know who's ever killed anybody, myself included, from the moment you kill your first person, you're pretty well fucked in the head for the rest of your life. I still have nightmares about the first time I killed somebody. I still remember his brains fucking blowing out everywhere, and that shit is shit that I see in my dreams still to this day. Because I know that you can't provide security that has the same level of training that I have. And for those who don't understand, I trained at the farm at Langley. Anyone who knows what that is knows what that means. You can't provide security capable of providing the security I can provide for myself. Non-negotiable. There's a lot of stuff going on the internet saying that I claimed to be an agent of specific agencies. I do not name government agencies. That is something you will not see me ever talk about on the internet, so it's weird that people have brought that up. I've stated I worked as a mercenary and as a private military contractor. Now what that means, you guys can draw your own conclusions. It's not something I'm necessarily proud of. It's not something I brag about. And the reason I don't brag about it is because it makes me, in a way, feel like a weak person. Because my father, who was a Green Beret and is a self-made multimillionaire, and again, people can dig that up themselves. Some people have dug that up. It's not bullshit. Trained me for that role, and he made me do it. And I wasn't strong enough as an 18, 19, 20-year-old man to stand up to my own father. I have not been a spy. I've never claimed to be a spy. I've never claimed to be a member of any government agency anywhere on earth. I grew up a hunter. I grew up a competitive shooter and a hunter. I hunted since I was 6 years old. I shot since I was 6 years old. I started doing long-distance rifle shooting in competition when I was 12 years old. So we'll call it a hunter. I was a hunter of exotic game, if that will make you guys feel better. And a pretty good chunk of the game that I hunted was a very dangerous type of game that did some sort of masonry or bricklaying because they stacked bricks of some type up. So yes, I became a man at the start of the Clinton presidency. I was scouted out for certain types of work before I even finished high school. Again, due to my family, my upbringing, connections certain members of my families might have had, along with my shooting skills. Again, I was shooting very successfully at 1,000 yards as a teenager, well before I was an adult, in actual competitions. So it isn't far-fetched that I may have been offered certain types of employment at that point. And men weren't even always paid cash because the truth was this was a very competitive market, a competitive environment. It was very dangerous. And there were other things worth more than money for people who wanted to stay in this line of work. Training and hardware. Those things were worth their weight in gold. We got worked hard, and sometimes we got broken. But I'm one of the lucky ones and I survived. So those of you who don't believe any of this, that's okay. I really don't give a fuck. I'm still telling my story. This is what it is. And if you don't believe me, fuck you. Go fuck yourself. I don't care. For all these guys who are veterans who are standing there still screaming about your valor, stolen valor, after what I just told you, that sounds like I'm stealing any of your valor, you know what? Fuck you, kid. You can go fuck yourself. I don't really care what you think. But I will tell you this. If you decide that you're going to come confront me physically about it, you better not be a fucking pog. You better be a stone cold killer. If you come at me aggressively, voice raised, negative body language as someone who I know is a trained killer. Because I don't flinch anymore when I hear a rifle round come by my head. When I hear that whoop and that snap of that sonic boom, I haven't flinched in 20 years from that shit. I got over that a long time ago. So if you come at me, I want you to know, son, it's not going to be me who goes in the ground. I'm still here. I'm still upright and drawing air. And I can assure you I never, ever said anything about being an assassin. I didn't go into any details at all about what sort of work I did abroad or who I even worked for. Furthermore, I have no recollection and I do not recall having ever known of anyone performing an assassination. In fact, I don't even recall what countries I may have worked in the past, what I did, or who paid me.